The rise of stealth wealth and quiet luxury. Welcome back to A Study of Style.
I think a lot of people are finding themselves tired of seeing the Kardashians decked all out in designer.
But Sophia Richie's wedding has made the exaltation of quiet luxury louder than ever.
Loud budgeting. Sorry, can't go out to dinner. I've got $7 a day to live on.
We have an obsession with extremes, especially in the form of being packaged extremes. Hi, I'm Maria, the Maria Friday on all social media platforms, and this channel focuses on social commentary around fashion. Don't forget to subscribe if that sounds like something you're interested in. And today, I'm going to be talking about this very, very, very interesting thing, this obsession that I feel like we have in our generation, whether it's millennials, Gen Z, whatever it may be, especially in the form of being packaged extreme. In the past year, you've seen a big rise in the term quiet luxury and even later on stealth wealth.
A way of dressing that allows the wearer to maintain privacy in regard to their economic and social status, and how it overlaps with quiet luxury, the unassuming style philosophy that has become a signifier of the 1%.
And now we've moved on to loud budgeting. But it really begs the question, why are we so obsessed with extremes, especially packaged, conceptualized, aesthetic, or core extreme?
Clean girl is out, mob wife is in. Here's what this means.
The rise of loud budgeting advocates this idea that we should boldly, proudly say, I'm not willing to do certain activities because it does not benefit my financial goals. It's the idea of showing transparency and accountability to the people around you as well as yourself by loudly and boldly declaring that I am on a budget. And honestly, love everything from showing your thrift finds, which we've seen a lot of. The rise of thrifting and the idea of sustainability has been so big on social media recently, and it is so essential, let me tell you. It is super duper essential, so that's amazing. But we've seen a lot of rise in thrift finds and thrifting goods. Like I said in my other video, we even saw a big rise in the no-buy period. The no-buy period started maybe 6-7 years ago, where a lot of influencers or a lot of social media content creators were saying, let me show you that I will not be buying these things, or I'll be having a low buy period. And that has now exponentially grown.
We all know I've been loving sharing my budget with me's every single month. I know
in this box here is the number you need to know. That number now becomes your
Budgeting, everything from establishing your savings goals.
Of course, that's related to the times that we're in, but in general, that concept of loudly budgeting and literally showing income and expenses, budgeting, stuffing envelopes, dollar a day budgeting, 50, 20, 30 budgeting. We've seen a big rise in that aspect. So this new concept of loud budgeting isn't specifically new, but even that, right, still creates there's a lot of noise in this aspect of loud budgeting because now it's become a trend, okay? So are we now under this pressure to perform, to compare ourselves to some people who make more money than us because now we're seeing truly what other people are making? Now, I am a big advocate in paid transparency and talking about how much you make so you can help somebody else out, so people have some kind of idea of what to ask for, but it leads to comparison. That's the double-edged sword. In everything, there's a good and a bad. And the good part is people know what to ask for and what is fair. The bad part is you not compare yourself. It's normal. And we're in this culture of constantly oversharing everything, right? So we get to see exactly how they spend the money, where the money goes to. Now, of course, let's be real. Content creators and influencers only show you what they want you to see. You're not seeing everything. I can be 100% real with you. You're not seeing everything. Even if you come with them on a vlog throughout, you're not seeing everything. We live in a generation of oversharing in general. So you get to see and compare yourself to a lot of people who are now loud budgeting their way on internet. And you're like, wait a minute, what now? So yeah, this rise of loud budgeting, those are the things that we're seeing. But the concept of loud budgeting itself is something to be proud of. I think it's something that we do want. If you go back to a lot of my old videos, I've been talking about budgeting, not falling into the trap that influencers are trying to sell you, because it's real. I fall into that trap myself. I've said it in my videos. I am honest. This is like my vlog. This is like my diary. But That's not what I'm talking about. I'm all for the concept of loud budgeting, but we have this fixation as a society for polar extremes.
Well, now a practice called loud budgeting is helping some people to do just that. And it all started with a video posted on TikTok as a joke.
I don't know if it's happening at a faster rate. I am not a scientist. I cannot tell you that. I just know that I personally have seen, maybe it's because of social media, maybe it's because we overshare so much, but we have this thing, this extremist idea almost, especially when it comes to wealth and lifestyle. We have such polar ideas on it. You're either quiet luxury, you're either stealth wealth, or you're either loud budgeting. You're always on the extreme. In my other video, I talked about how we're now in the gray market, which is very interesting to people, and everyone's kind of scared of it because we love the extreme. And let's be real, right? As human beings, as people, we like to know where we stand. I'm either here or I'm there. So I think that fosters this idea that we love to know. It's loud budgeting. I'm loudly and proudly going to do it. But it's not new. We see streets filled with advertising, buildings with posters, buildings with ads on it, billboards. We see ads on YouTube. We see ads on TikTok. We see ads everywhere. And it's for luxury clothes, luxury goods, these epic lifestyles, extravagant vacations. But why? Why are we so obsessed with the extremes? Why is just like going and taking a staycation not amazing? I've taken staycations. It's been amazing. I've taken nice vacations too. It's been great. They were all great. You have a 40,000 Birkin. That's what I want to see a review of. Oh my God. And again, like I said, it's a fascinating thing. It's maybe neurological. It's psychological. It's natural. We as humans love it, but it's a thing. We are obsessed with it, especially extreme labeling of things that have already existed for so long. Are we not been budgeting before? Have people not been showing videos on how they budget? They have, right? I've seen it. That's how I learned some of my budgeting skills or learned about it. We had the quiet luxury phase that just came through recently. It's kind of dying down because people are realizing it's just, again, branding. Because it was just the minimal closet, the capsule closet, but yeah, we all called it quiet luxury. Now, of course, it's tied to the recession, it's tied to the times that we're living in, the shows that we watch, like I said in my other video. But at the end of the day, we were sold this idea that quiet luxury was what we should all aspire to. So spend hundreds of dollars to get really good things, because now you will have luxury, when in actuality, luxury is about tailoring the clothes that you already have that are good quality to fit you. You always look expensive when the clothes is tailored to you. That's really the quiet luxury when you think about it. And tailoring is really not that expensive, to be honest, but I'm not going there. But yeah, so we have people who are actually truly wealthy who can live this quiet luxury life, but most people were faking it. People were living up to this ideal that they could literally not afford.
There's even a notion that if you dress like you're from old money, you will attract money in the form of a wealthy husband. And Sophia Richie has been used as a prime example.
Oh, quiet luxury, one day I wish to be rich. When that's not the idea. Like, that's not really what it's about. It's about having good quality things that fit your lifestyle. But it was branded as expensive things, right? For me, like I said, it's nothing new. After COVID, we were really locked up in the house or something. But the rise of the core this and core that and the aesthetic this and the aesthetic that, the packaging of concepts over and over that people were every 2-3 months now living a whole new concept. People are not made to be packaged. You're not made to be packaged. Like, I can't say I'm orange core, or girl core, or this core, that core, because I'm everything core. Someday I feel like I want to dress like a lumberjack adjacent person. Maybe I am bloated. I want to be comfortable, so I'm going to dress lumberjack adjacent. Am I now lumberjack core? But it was packaged over and over. We're obsessed with this packaging, but on the extremes, super extremes. Because even under this core or aesthetic idea, like, does everybody have to have, like, even under the girl core, is it all pink? Does it have to be all pink? Like, there are other ways to be girly. But I think we need a constant rebrand. That's the thing. We always need a constant rebrand recently. Everything is brand. We want instant gratification right now. We want to lose weight right now. We want to be able to travel and get there right now. We want the microwavable meals right now. Everything is kind of like a right now society. So why wouldn't you want the most extreme form of everything? Because we get everything right now. I just want it to the best and the highest and the most extreme version, right? This whole idea of budgeting, absolutely nothing new. But this concept of overlaying an aesthetic or a core on top of something that's already existed, now that is a big form of extremity that we've been seeing a lot of, in my opinion.
I'm going to talk about the split bill method, which makes paying bills easier and it's a lesser hit on your payment.
Are in our married, no kids, dual income era. So this is just my portion of our expenses, but
break down, like I said, I get paid bi-weekly, so I like to break it down based on like what bills are coming out this paycheck, because like I said, I get paid every 2 weeks.
And I know like during the times of like economic uncertainty, that's what we're in right now. Some people call it a recession. It doesn't matter what you call it. It's economic uncertainty. We're not sure what we're in. I think our spending habits are under like a lot of scrutiny because we kind of have to get it right to make sure that we're not struggling even more, right? We're trying to make sound spending decisions. Everybody's trying to do that. It doesn't matter who you are, unless you're the ultra rich, of course, right? So I guess you are exempt from this. Those are the extremities. But most people, because of the times we're in, you have to evaluate yourself. Am I willing to splurge on this to kind of lift my spirits? Is this time for me to actually not spend right now and lock it down and put a reminder on my credit card saying not spend, or freeze it? Extreme, crazy things. That's the time we're in right now. Let's be real. That's why this is popping off. This concept is now popping up and everyone accepts it because that is the time. But to be honest, I'll say it before and I'll say it again. The wealth that you want is dependent on how you see your life. Everyone's idea of wealth is completely different. My idea of wealth could be a really, really nice home on the beach, just being able to walk right there. And someone's idea of wealth could be traveling the world, backpacking through all of the countries in the world. As long as you're living true to yourself and who you are as a person, you won't fall into the extremes. At least that's my opinion. You won't fall into extreme budgeting and having to tell people what you spend and this, that, and the other, because they don't, depending on who it is that you're talking to, does everybody need to know everything about your life? Like, that's another topic, but why are we so, moderation is the key. And knowing what you want out of life will let you know where you need to stand. You don't need to be all over the place. I stand right here. This is where I stand. These are the decisions I make about this and that and the other. So I think ultimately this idea of budgeting and overall still, even if it is loud budgeting, I still think the idea of being proud about, I can't afford drinks and dinner tonight, I'm only going to do drinks, I think that concept is right. I think we should be able to tell each other. I think in this time that we are, it just makes sense. And I'm glad Gen Z, millennials, whoever it is that started this trend of really being loud and proud about it, I'm glad we're having it. But this idea of extremities, constant repackaging at the highest form, literally loud budgeting, it's just budgeting. Times like these, extremities kind of are the norm. People are kind of desperate at times, so you just kind of have to make a bold move with things. I think that's why we see a lot of trends happening, because you actually maybe just have to be loud about the fact that we need to budget. So maybe that's where loud budgeting comes from. I talk about this in my other video about how people are willing to go around the system in order to not accumulate more credit debt. We're using a lot more like buy now, pay later systems. And I think this is part of that extremities we're talking about, with people willing to literally go out of their ways to say, you know what are some ways that I can actually work the system? Some ways that I can actually thrive within the conditions that I've been given right now. But yeah, you tell me, do you really feel like in our times, are we just becoming more extreme as a society? Or do you think in general, this is just a trend? It's been nice sitting here and talking with you. Until next time, bye.